And back here at Lakeside, our Gold Star cars lining up. The top 5 looks something like this. Mark Skaife in the Winfield Lola on pole, clear of Mark Larkham, Paul Stokel, David Hardman and Alan Galloway. That's the top 5. Only a small but select field for this round of the Australian Drivers' Championship. But the battle should be between the front row boys, Mark Larkham and, of course, Mark Skaife, the Australian Gold Star and the defending Australian Touring Car Champion. Off the line, Larkham lights up the tyres and moves across at the same time just to make sure he had the lie for the kink just about perfect, and he closes the options off of Mark Skaife as they come down to the carousel for the first time. So Larkham in the Mitre 10 car will lead going through there, the Reynard. The exit now to the carousel. And moving up pretty closely, David Hardman and Paul Stokel not too far back behind Mark Skaife as they come down towards the bridge for the first time on their way to Hungary Corner. But a good start for Mark Larkham, almost a repeat of Symonds Plains where he was able to get away smartly. But let me tell you, it won't take long before Mark Skaife's up there and hammering on the tail.
Unusual style, Mike, having a wiggle off the start line like that. He's entitled to move over as fast as he can, and there was a slight angle of the camera there, but I would have thought Mark Skaife will say, I think I might just remember that for another time.
A little later, yes. Okay, down to the kink again. There's the gap, first to second, then back to third as they come down to the right-hander at the carousel.
Big challenge on there for third place. Paul Stokel moving on David Hardman. Can't quite make it on that section of the track. Mark Larkham leading. He was the 1989 Formula Ford Driver to Europe champion, now stepping into this Formula Brabham category and doing a terrific job of it.
They make the exit from Hungary Corner up to the top of the hill. Let's see whether
are quick around here, Mike. High 47s. Mark Skaife on pole at a 46.6. That's fairly moving.
Side by side, here they come. Hardman, Stokel, and Stokel gets by. He takes third spot.
Now, can Mark Skaife mount a challenge on Larkham as the laps count down here, coming up, putting a lap?
He's certainly in touch, but he's not what you'd call on his back bumper bar by any stretch of the imagination. He's certainly not in a position to take advantage of any slipstreaming because he's not close enough.
I'm a bit surprised he isn't closer.
Well, it's been a pretty tough season for Mark Skaife. Of course, everything he touched last year turned to gold, both in this category and certainly in touring cars. Freddie Gibson, who has one of the most professional teams in Australian motorsport, they've been battling for development with their Commodore. And I guess it'd be nice to have stepped back into the Lola and dominated the class, but Mark Larkham's made sure that young Skaife isn't going to do that. Correct. 2 laps remain in this Gold Star round for the Formula Brabhams at Lakeside Raceway. Mark Larkham continues to lead. Mark Skaife pulling out some big ones now as he closes up. So all of a sudden, with only a couple of circuits to go, the pressure is certainly on Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Reynard as he makes the exit from the carousel.
Full marks to Mark Larkham, though, so far anyway. Won the jump and has held Skaife at bay fairly comfortably. And although Skaife is pulling out all stops to try and bridge the gap in these closing laps, I don't know that he's going to do it.
I don't think with just one to go, Gary, that he can, although he is...
Get the 50s out, gentlemen.
Get the 50s.
Well, he's the series leader, the defending champion, Skaife. He knows how to drive, wring the best out of this Lola. And if he's going to do it, now's the time. 1 lap to go.
At Symonds Plains, of course, Larkham was leading and had a spin almost in the shadow of the checkered flag and handed one back to Mark Skaife. So he's putting him under plenty of pressure.
He's also had his backside kicked 15 times since that day, so I don't think he's likely to do that again.
So despite the fact that Skaife has made up a lot of ground in the Winfield Lola, Mark Larkham, who took the lead going to the carousel for the first time, leads into Hungary for the final time.
The 89 Formula Ford Driver to Europe champion, that experience there must have done him a power of good, and he's proving his worth here today at the wheel of the Reynard 91D. Holding pride of place as they head down towards the checkered flag, and it's going to be Mark Larkham. Yes, indeed. Mark Larkham takes out the Lakeside round of the Gold Star Series from the defending champion, Mark Skaife. Third place to Paul Stokel.
It's a good drive from Paul Stokel. He had to come from a long way back after missing the kick initially. But there is our race winner here today, Mark Larkham, and it was very close at the finish. As we show you on the Shell race score, Larkham the winner over Mark Skaife. Paul Stokel finished third. David Hardman fourth, and Alan Galloway rounded out the 5. Back at Lakeside in just a moment.